able to broadcast? Might not. Hey, finally came out there. Hey, this is Aaron Carson with Role Playing Public Radio, and this is a Patreon game, Halloween edition. So, as Halloween is 2 days away, and today we will be playing Monsters and Other Childish Things. The title of this being Destination Unknown. We have two players with us today, Alex and Arthur. So, why don't we go ahead and introduce our characters, starting with Alex.
Hello, everybody. My kid's name is Sarah Coulter. She's the bookish one. Monsters too.
Okay. And what's your monster and their specific power set?
I have the Deep Blues Quintet, which is a set of 5 chess pieces that are very, very big, very, very hard, and very, very painful to be hit by.
Oh man, and honestly, I will say that I'm kind of disappointed now that I know about this monster because had I said it in the future, I wanted to get another kid monster who's controlling the current AI that has been able to beat Go masters.
Oh,
So and see how that would
giant,
game out.
giant board game deathmatch.
Exactly. So that would be interesting. But I like the concept for that. So all right, and Arthur.
Hello, I'm going to be playing Oscar Taylor, fifth grader. My monster is Kumori, a ninja made of Betamax tape who hides in a Bruce Lee belt buckle when I'm walking around poking stuff with a stick.
Right, excellent. So, and for people who are a little bit more keen to that, they will. That's like they may have recognized Komori from another adventure, Junkyard: The Edge of Forever. It's still up on that's like on the main one. So go ahead and listen to it and see how well I actually ran that when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, but all right. So for this one, the year on this is 1988. So, if I've kept my timeline straight, that is particularly 2 years after the events of Junkyards at the Edge of Forever. And for this one, specifically for Oscar's family, they have moved away from Sagan Lane. From Sagan Lane and are currently residing within Winnsboro, South Carolina.
Oh,
Uh,
it's so far away.
yeah. So, small town within Fairfield County. There's actually the county seat. It's not a huge people at the current right now. It's home to about maybe 2,800 people. So, but it's more or less known for the farming and general farming and mining communities that are down there as well. So with the monster community that Oscar, then when you moved in there and found out, there weren't many of the kids who you have had the similar friends that you do. You ended up meeting Sarah during time, and why don't you guys describe your first interaction with each other? How did you end up meeting each other?
Uh,
Well, where did we meet, Sarah?
I'm thinking a library, maybe.
Sounds great. Uh,
So,
yeah, 80s library, so I was not trying to rent movies.
you might rent vinyls. So, uh,
Oh God.
All right,
I
yeah,
remember doing that.
I was trying to rent vinyls. I'm trying to get Fleetwood Mac vinyls for my mom.
Nice. So, and when you met up, did your monsters get along, or was there an issue that's like and a conflict that actually caused you to be friends later on, or at least have a tenuous relationship?
I like to
It's,
think my monsters are a little bit abrasive, but they warmed up.
Okay.
I believe my ninja would probably just be silent, but shift postures to indicate that she had warmed up.
Okay. So just a little bit outside of that. So good. Oh, good. So for the most part, it's been about 1 year. So Oscar, you ended up coming into the town during the beginning of the school year. So you and Sarah have been able to uh, get to be able to meet each other, have a couple of different adventures. Again, Winsboro is not that big, but there are a couple other kids that you've noticed around the area that have had different monsters, and particularly Jim Bob Sully, so which are actually a twin set. Uh, James, that's like James Sully and Bobby Sully. They've both control a particular monster that uh, You don't really ever know the name of it. You just remember that it's actually forming out of a model monster truck that loves to completely crush anything into its path when it grows into a size that should not be
Why does
for
this
any kind of
sound
vehicle.
incredibly familiar? I wonder. Maybe it has something to do with Vegas.
uh, but otherwise, it's been pretty silent. You do hear that's like stories every once in a while of things going on the outside because you're so far out of the area. But for the last week, I would say both of you go ahead and roll a dice and tell me who rolls the highest.
4.
Okay.
8.
8. All right. So Oscar, you're the first one to notice it. You're out when it's like day, and Kumari just kind of you feel her tugging on your jacket, and look over and you see that down one of the alleyways downtown. It's about maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There is a group of men all in black suits, Ray-Ban sunglasses, that are gathered around a police taped off line area. So you can't, and you know that usually if police or anything around there, you're supposed to pretty much just avoid it, especially with the monsters. You know the men in black, you know of your previous encounter with them. So it's usually bad news, but Kamari is really insistent on you checking that out. So
Really consistent.
yeah, that something else is going on. So how are you going to get past them to see what they're looking at?
Well, let's see. What would be the most kung fu thing to do? Is there an alley that I can run around to maybe get on the other side where they're not so thick?
Go ahead and make a brains check on that. See if you can figure that figure that one out. Or let me take a look and see. That might be a wits one. I have your character sheet right here. Why don't I do that? Let's see. You don't have outthink on that, so I'm gonna go with notice. So go ahead and make a notice check. See what pulls up.
Okay. One's cocked. 2 10s.
2 10s. Oh yeah. You actually one thing that they do not know about is that there's actually a sewer drain that goes right underneath and pops right on the other side. And luckily, it's behind.
Excellent.
Yeah, luckily it's behind a dumpster. So if you're quiet about it, quiet enough about it, they're never going to see you.
All right, I'm doing that. Sounds like the best plan I've ever heard of.
Okay, so in this case, all right. So are you gonna get in there yourself, or are you gonna try to use Komori to get in there to view for you?
Well, she is much sneakier than I am, so I think it's going to be a tiny bit safer, but also men in black. So, let's let her do it. She hasn't done anything yet.
Okay, so all right. So what skill are you using for her?
So I think she's going to use, useful, Shadow Striker. I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, yeah,
Or she could use Ninja Vanish to just, be
the teleport in there. Okay, yeah, I'll accept either which one. So you have a good amount of dice for that. Go ahead.
All right. 2 10s. I mean, rolling 10 dice.
Okay, all right. So in this case, that's still the tens. The quality on that is still good enough.
All right. So what can she see?
Okay. You said you got 2 10s out of that?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the quality on this one. You managed to get back there. You see her pop out. They do not see her. She comes back to you and says, well, do you remember those haunted houses that they started putting up where it looks like somebody's pushing through, pushing through a screen door
Yes.
or that? Imagine that with brick.
So there's like somebody's hand pushing against some brick, but
Hi.
it's a screen door.
Hi. And you actually see her reformat her that's like her tendrils of Betamax into what looks like a brick wall and a 3D image of what looks like a silhouette of a human figure trying to push out.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's a little off-putting there. So you don't really know what's going on with that. From this, it's like from this end, and that's at this moment. Go ahead and make another notice check.
No matches.
No matches.
Nope.
Okay, so that's when you get at least the. It's like you can't. It. You feel the hand on the back of your shoulder going through. It's like and look behind. It's like look behind you, and one of the other gentlemen in the. It's like gentleman in the suits is looking straight down at you. What are you doing here?
I was. You guys are police. Can I see your gun?
Get the fuck out of here, kid. So don't need it. No, it's like the bullshit. This bullshit. I will say that just as a free action from that, Kumari had enough good honor quality that she could have basically vanished ahead of time. So there's no worry about that. But if you stick around here any longer, something's gonna be bad.
Yeah, they're gonna suspect me because they didn't show me their gun. All right, then we will beat feet and go find our new best friend Sarah.
Okay, so you'll go ahead and I'll pull that out from there. All right, Sarah, what are you doing right now?
I am in the park, waiting for the old man to come play chess with me.
Okay, so is that something that you do on a regular basis?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Lots of chess with the old guys.
All right. So I'll say at this moment, Deep Blue. I had a question for Deep Blue. Are they all? Is it more of a gestalt, a full-on gestalt that they talk in one voice normally, or do they have separate personalities for each piece?
Separate personalities for each piece.
Okay. So, and you said you had a was it a Rook Knight?
Rook, Knight, Bishop, Queen, King.
So Queen King. All right.
All the royals.
All righty. So I would say the bishop in this case is asking you on a regular basis. So do we? That's like, do you think we can actually do 5 times? That's like all 5 like we did that last time. 5 games in a row. Get all the senior citizens to have a heart attack at once. That was fun.
No. It's terrible. What are you thinking? We need somebody to play against. There's no one else.
We need the Kasparov crush. Why don't you want to do this? I concur.
Because I want people to play with. And you guys won't want to play with me. You can't anyways. You don't have the 2 other sets.
Well, if you find somebody else who had a chess monster that would be able to play with, play with you, or better yet, a shogi monster. We need one of those.
No. I'm gonna stick with what I know.
All right. So it's about that time, out of the argument. You don't see that your old friend, who'll say his name is Gerald. He's not there today, but you do see your friend Oscar running up.
Oh, hey, Oscar.
Oh man, you would not believe what I have just seen.
But they
So it was like a wall, but aluminum foil.
Yeah.
You know how like if you like cover food with it, it shows the dents of food.
Oh yeah.
So it was like a rock wall that was doing the same thing, except it wasn't food. I don't know what it was. Kamori saw it.
Are you sure it isn't just a decoration for Halloween?
Yeah, there were men in black there, so maybe unless everyone is.
Well, I mean, they're dumb, so they probably mistook a decoration for something, weird.
So, which then, if you want to think about that too, so that it's always the possibility of this, but I will say you can give the description, and let's see. I could say Sarah, if you want to roll a outthink or remember, you can get some more information from Oscar's description.
I will gladly take that outthink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Three threes.
3 threes. Okay. For that one, that's like you can't really. You've encountered Men in Black before. You've only had what would be extend at least fights that were it's like more or less hit and fade on your side because you're just trying to get them off the back. But you realize though that even though that they can hide more or less as any kind of government person or Fed. It's like Fed. It's really unusual for them to be out in the open, especially during the day like this.
Hmm.
So if it's enough for them to actually make a move like this, it's really disconcerting. And more importantly, they may be. It's like wherever they were, they might be looking for something
All right.
instead around. It's like around the area or closer they had it. So
All right. Where is this alley?
It's back that way.
from your location, it's about 3 blocks to the south. So it's downtown next to Old Man McGregor's pharmacy.
Old Man
Oh yeah, right by the
McGregor.
drugstore.
Mhm.
All right. Um, let's go back and surreptitiously take a look.
Yeah, I mean we could go get some pop rocks from the drugstore.
All right, sounds good. Hey, have you tried this thing with Pop Rocks and Coke?
Uh,
No, I haven't.
It's really cool.
yeah, yeah. I would say, Oscar, you actually hear Kamari going. I've heard that causes explosions.
Yeah, like
Maybe we can use that for a better weapon.
Yeah, you
A
could put it in.
carbonated.
You could put it in some pipe and then shoot like a tennis ball or something.
Let's try it. That sounds like a worthwhile, thing we could do with our afternoon.
Okay, so all right, but yeah, I would say that you can go ahead and go back if you would like to investigate. It's about three. I would say it's around 3:45 right now. So it is during the school year, despite one of your records saying summer break. So you have us, and you are expected back home for it's like to be able to get to dinner. It's like within the next hour or so, so you'll have enough time. You can stay out later, but you'll have to make excuses and possibly risk a bond. That's like a bond strained if you're not careful. So, although I did ask for that, Sarah, what's your home life like?
Uh, Mom's quiet. Me and Dad get along really well.
Okay,
Sister's
so no
nosy.
particular.
Damn high school sisters.
So no particular strains or any issues that you have at the
Uh,
moment.
not really. Everything's fine.
Okay,
I don't play them in chess for a reason.
all right. So not enough of a challenge, or they just stopped wanting to play with you.
No, I didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Ah, okay. So, all right. So I will say that you can go ahead and get back down there. The drugs, that's like the pharmacy is still open until about 6 o'clock, so you have some time. And if you want to question, if you want to question Old Man McGregor, he is at the counter when you get there.
Oh, that sounds like
Uh,
a great idea.
Really quick question though. Are they still
Yes.
down the alleyway when we pass by to go into the drugstore?
As you get there, you see that there are the Men in Black are not there, but there are the regular downtown Winsboro police. So, and they are it's like cordoning off the alleyway right now. And actually, as you're passing by for that second, you do see Old Man McGregor is back at the back of his door, but he's quietly being shuffled back inside, but by the chief of police. So I would say, Alex, what's our chief's name?
Uh, Hopper.
Chief. Yeah. To avoid interesting things, we're gonna go with Chief Topper, just for the
Oh.
moment. So, I
Oh.
know.
Could have been John Hopper. You could have changed this.
So, all right, we'll go with Hopper. Anyway, but yeah, you see Chief Hopper there, just pushing it back in. He's being nice, but you could see that the old man McGregor's trying to get back there to at least dump out some trash or something else, and he's really annoyed by it.
Yeah. Is there like any stuff built up around the sides of the alleyway?
The act That's like you can see that there is there's not an official cordon, but you actually do see that there are some pieces of tarp that have been put up onto the side here, where uh, that's like where the silhouette was. Because Oscar, when you saw it, it was actually further down in there. So unless you were just right at the entrance looking past where the FBI agents were, it would be really easy to miss. So because that silhouette was so dark, it was just like a pitch black against the earthier tones of the brick in the behind.
Uh,
Mm,
Dumpsters or anything on the sides, trash buildup, preferably trash buildup.
Let's see. For that, I'll say that you have. It's like
how
there's a little bit of a
clean
trash
is
buildup, so
Winsboro?
Hmm.
that you have outside of it. But at this time, you see that Chief Hopper has gotten him to go back in and is going back to putting up the cordons again. You do have the sewer entrance underneath if you want to get back down there before, but that would have to be a. Let's see. Uh, I would have to see that. I would say that's a PE
Is it
or
is it
wind.
like one of the drain top? What do you say it? That has like the holes in the top?
No, it's actually a side storm drain. So it's a perfect size Pennywise
Oh,
one.
Oh,
great.
sweet. Because my bishop Luther has this ability, squeeze through small spaces, and it's kind of got sharing on it.
Okay, so all right, so he can
He's
assist you
gonna
with that.
move diagonal into the drain,
Okay.
and I will go inside the drugstore.
You're gonna go to the drugstore. All right, so you're gonna take separate avenues of this. So all right, so this is getting past Chief Hopper as well, um, with it. So and what are the dice on your bishop?
7 dice.
7 dice. Okay. Go ahead and roll that since he's bringing you along with you to see if you can get in undetected by Chief Hopper.
Oh, that's a couple of nines. Two
Nice up.
nines.
2 9s. All right, good quality. So for that, so yeah, he's normal. So I'm not even gonna have you roll against that. He's a normal one. So yeah, you do feel yourself. So describe it? How do you feel? How does it feel or look when you're sliding in like this when your bishop takes you along?
I imagine that I shrink down to the size of a chess piece and just scoot along diagonally.
All right,
It
so
has to always be at angles, never straight.
at angles, nice. I like that. So all right, yeah, you go right into the corner and fall down, and you are in a. That's like since you're a chess piece, you are a little bit on the water, but I guess you are skimming across that and going straight up again since if any kind of flat surface or surface tension carries you, you can get along that. So
Yeah.
nice. All right, so you pop up behind where Kamari did before, and you see Chief Hopper is starting to exit the alleyway. So the partition and the caution tape is blocking you from view, and you definitely see it now in full force. Um, Kumari's definition or description did not really give you a lot of what this was. It looks like something was trying to push through a membrane in or just a wall of goo that was before you, and it solidified around him. The figure is you actually see full details that it looked like that have been stretched taut across his body, the face. You can actually see the face where it's almost in a well, it's like in a rictus of horrors. It's trying to either get air or push out, and it just became stuck there. So this is pretty damn creepy. If you want to get in near it to look at it anymore, you're gonna have to roll guts plus courage.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, no, that Kumori did not paint that picture.
And I will throw in my one-died relationship with my dad because this looks exactly like that movie that we watched the other
Okay.
night. What
All
was
right.
its name? The what? The who?
So the Who. It was a documentary about a monster who played in the
That's a
Antarctic.
failure, unfortunately.
So
3,
What's
5,
the other
7,
failure?
8, 9.
yeah, you're sitting. You look at it, but damn, it's too unnerving to you.
Uh,
Right now, but you do. It's like you do. If you can't get anywhere near it, and you don't want to really look at it, but if you want to get away, damn, there's a crack on the door to the pharmacy in the back. Looks like Old Man McGregor didn't close it completely.
zip, 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 zip.
Right, all
Um,
right. So right in the back.
It's safe in here with the candy and the old man.
Alrighty. So going back to you, Arthur, Oscar. So you're in there. Old Man McGregor is at the front. You see that he's uh, at his desk filling different. It's like filling different prescriptions. Here's Wellsbury. Nope. What? Oh, that's like, yeah, Mr. Taylor. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, I was maybe looking to buy some Pop Rocks.
Ugh,
But
damn thing will rot your teeth out. That's loud. Teeth out. Just a loud noise. God, why do kids want any of the damn things anymore? Why don't? That's like, why not get some of the Necco wafers? They're on sale.
Necco wafers. I may be convinced to purchase some Necco wafers. But what? Why is the police here? Why is Hopper here?
Ugh. Oh God, yeah. Just I don't. I don't know what's going on in the back. I think they claim that there's something back there that's toxic. He puts up finger quotes, and we can't really be. That's like back there right now until they get somebody to clean it up. So
Toxic like a lunchroom dumpster, or toxic like
like
Swamp Thing.
that's like kid. Oh, it's like kid. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about from your comic books, but when I'm looking at this here, look, I went back there just to dump out the trash, and they said it was more something towards like biological hazard. That's like if you touch something, you get really sick. And honestly, I got no time for that. I got to service everybody else. That's like here near up to the county line. So I got to. That's like I just have to take what they say.
Okay.
Uh, Although I tell you, it smelled really bad back there.
It smelled really bad, so it smelled like a dumpster. But
No,
really bad.
it's more like, well, not like a dumpster when I first got back out there. The wind took it away, but it, yeah, God, more to that sculpture thing or whatever I saw at the peak. It almost smelled like meat that had been sitting out in the sun too long.
A meat sculpture. It smelled like a rotting meat sculpture.
Yeah, these that's like damn kids with their avant-garde artwork. Just can we get a nice painting anymore? Monet knew how to do it. Jeez.
I
Ugh.
will purchase the Necco wafers and maybe browse the baseball cards until Sarah shows up.
Okay, well, speaking of
Hey,
that,
Mr. McGregor, do you have any? Mr. McGregor, do you have any Wonka bars in?
God damn it! How did you get back there?
I've
I was
been back
like,
here the entire time.
do you realize what I have back here that can hurt you?
Pills?
Oh, yes, pills. That's gonna be. That's like you're gonna. That's
Um,
like decide to take one of these things, like those losers, up on. That's like up on fifth, and start just hang. That's like losing your mind towards it. This is medicine. It's not a way to get high. Get the hell out.
What's getting high, Mr. McGregor?
So, oh, what'd you say?
Just kidding.
Oh, getting high.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Oh,
only in fifth grade. I don't know about that stuff yet.
That would
Just-
imply that I'm dumb enough to actually want to be one of those people off Fifth Ave.
They look kind of cool.
oh,
they don't.
God, just-
Look at them. You can see the bags under their eyes. I don't get enough sleep.
okay. All right. Just look. I don't have time for this right now. You need something else right now. He goes back, pulls out the All-Star Cartoons to the Rescue VHS, shoves it in your hand, and tells you to get the hell out.
But this isn't Willy Wonka.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, all right. Yeah. So you have anything else? That's like so. Yeah, they've gotten a little more information about that too. You can the alleyway is now that you're going from there, you see that there are a couple more police there, deputies that are stationed in the front. So you can try to get back there through your other option, but it's going to be a little bit harder.
All right, Sarah. So old man McGregor said it smelled like a meat sculpture, and that the Men in Black were claiming it was a biological hazard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
specifically
looked really, really.
yeah, it
Oh,
smelled
go
like
ahead.
just a lot of hard decay.
It looked really realistic too. Like it was some sort of plastic wrap instead of brick.
Yep. So, yeah, looked good from there. So, let's see. From that end, if you want, it's like if you want to think any more about that, because you've gotten a little more information about how that would work and what it did, and I will say, Sarah, you can make one more uh brains and remember check.
Brains and remember or brains and not think?
Brains and remember.
Damn.
Go, Sarah, go! You can do it.
That is a lot of nines. That's 3 9s on 6 dice.
Holy shit, yeah. Damn, good job. Yeah, you actually end up remembering a little bit more about this from that's like the current biology lesson that you're going through. Specifically talking about you're going through animal reproductive cycles and talking about chicken eggs in particular, and that the membrane that the is held along the inner lining of the egg too, that kind of contains everything, and that in some cases, if it doesn't develop fully or something trying to pull it out, that could almost smell really bad too.
Hmm. So
So,
the building is an egg?
or at least maybe the outer shell does something else.
What's the building?
What is the building?
Yeah. Is
Or
it like Richie's house? Is it the realtor's house that no one wants to ever see open up because that means somebody's moving?
oh well, this is talking about. Oh, okay, in this case, this is the drugstore essentially. Because remember, this is in the alleyway is actually directly connected to the drugstore. So,
Okay, so it's on the wall of the drugstore.
yep, it's on the wall of the drugstore.
All
That's
right.
So
creepy.
it's on that side. Yeah.
See, somebody on Fifth Ave took too many of them and they ascended.
But it's gonna be protected at least at the moment right now. So, you can either take, it's like you can decide to wait and investigate this later, or try to pull up some more some information the next day at school. So,
Yeah, I'm ready to go home and eat dinner.
okay,
Yeah, shouldn't ruin my dinner with Wonka bars. People will get angry.
okay. So, all right. So we'll go back home for the night. I would say in this case, um, for that, yeah, unfortunately, I know you can't go really the lower than that, but Sarah, yeah, your relationship with your or sorry, yeah, the relationship with dad is a little bit off.
I
So,
got home late. So what, it got
so
knocked down to 1?
yeah,
Down to
so
0?
yeah, because of that, it's knocked down there. Not happy with you. You should have been at least there a little bit sooner. So,
But Dad, it looked like John Carpenter came to town.
okay, you cannot keep it's like saying stuff like that because your mom's going to catch me allowing you to watch that. And if you keep having nightmares at any point, it's going to be over with. We will not be going to see the Tim Burton film next year. Okay?
Oh, but
Yeah.
the only one that gave me nightmares was the guy with the white mask.
So, well, you know what?
Oh wait, is that
That's
him outside now? Oh no,
get
it's
ready.
not him.
Get ready for dinner. So,
Oh,
not gonna. Oh, well, we'll do this and play our game afterwards. Okay?
all right.
All right. Thank you. So, all right. So, in this case, Oscar, anything else you're doing before you go to bed?
Well, if I can, I will watch. I don't know. Uh, Enter the fist sandwich with
Into the knuckle
my mother.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that didn't sound. The first one didn't sound too great. It's like, did you get into your brother's stuff? So, no, it's not that. Right. So you both end up going to sleep for the night. Let's see, Sarah,
Uh-huh.
you end up having a little bit of a different dream than you normally do.
Well,
So, uh, as you look around, it's like it seems like you are in your home, but it's like it's much darker than it usually is. So, or more accurately, it's like the dark has a luminescence of its own that shouldn't be.
I immediately start looking for burned people.
So, you don't see any burned people, but that's like you do. That's like sense an odor. It's of what just smells like overpoweringly rotten meat. So that it's going through, and I will say, go ahead and do a brains notice check.
All right. I'm looking at 2 3s.
2 threes. Okay.
Yeah, 2 3s.
2 threes. All right. It's very faint. You can only do that, but you kind of smell what appears to be fresh air coming out your open window.
I first look
And
outside the window.
everything looks about the same, but it's if you look towards the sky, it looks like that the starscape on there, all the it's like where the stars are normally, if just from your view, should be just the bright luminescent whites. It seems to be representing all the different colors in the spectrum that just keep washing in and out of each other. And at the same time, if you look at the clouds, they almost seem irradiant with like they're all it's like all effects of an aurora borealis.
Those colors
Just
look out of shape.
yeah. Yeah. uh yeah, it just seems to be odd with it. And then everything, you look down and there is again no sunlight, no moonlight, anything that should be illuminating everything. It should be a pitch black, but it looks as though everything is just brought into sharp contrast. You can see everything.
We don't have a boiler room, do we?
No, you don't hear that. You don't hear scraping, so that's okay with it.
Scrape.
Uh, but you do look around, and you notice something else in your room that you hadn't before. So with it, and I forgot to ask this before. When your monsters aren't hiding, what do they actually look like?
Little black chess pieces in my pocket.
Okay, well when they are not hiding. So do they always look like chess pieces, or do they have an alternate form?
Giant
And they're
obsidian walls of brick and death.
okay, so they just look like larger chess pieces that are made up of. Okay. You look behind you, and you actually see that uh, where you have on the chess pieces, it's like your chessboard. I'm assuming where they rest. Uh, there are alternately colored chairs from black and white, each with an obsidian figure in them in different ones. One of them looks like a regal English king. The other one looks like a queen. You have somebody in an Anglican bishop's outfit,
I
a
think
knight, and then a at the very end you have a that's what appears to be an obsidian beefeater, who's that's just they are all sitting there resting on their chairs, eyes closed and not seemingly aware of anything around you.
I'll pick up the bishop that looks like he's in Anglican garb, and I'll say Luther won't be too happy about this.
All right, but he stirs a little bit, but it's like still remains asleep.
Hello?
They are. All right. Now go ahead. Make another brains out. It's like and notice check, but with a plus 1 to it. So you can roll one extra dice to that.
Are you sure you don't want to give me 2? Just let me roll all 10?
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna give that to you.
Okay, so we're looking at 2 7s.
2 sevens. All right. That is enough. That's like enough that you smell that base that it almost seems like a breeze, which is a little bit disturbing since you haven't really you haven't felt any wind since this dream began, since you remember being here. And with that breeze of fresh air, you hear the sound of what sounds like somebody yelling.
I will look out my window that I did not leave open before I went to sleep.
All right. And down the street, it's which it looks almost impossible. It's like you shouldn't think you should see this, but there seems to be one bright light, white light that is shining fire. That's like far, far down the street.
All right. I'm assuming it's a single floor house.
Yep. Well, it's your house, so you can define it how it is. So,
Single floor house, no bushes underneath my window, so I can crawl out with the flashlight.
okay. All right. So you start moving, and you notice that as you're moving, it seems like you take a step or two, and then everything around you blurs, and you're further down than you should be the road. So you take 2 steps, and suddenly you're at the stop time. Take another 2 steps, you are at the corner of a stoplight. Take another
Like,
2 steps, you're almost downtown.
is this what Mr. McGregor calls a contact high? Did I take those pills?
This is what happens when you take the pop rocks, kids. So,
Ah.
so you
No.
take so you get back down there, and it's like look at it, and you find yourself in front of the alleyway again. But you see the caution tape, you actually see the partition, but it looks just unbelievably rotted. Excuse me, and rotted and decayed in certain areas. That the smell, that pungent smell, is almost overwhelming.
Hmm.
So, and around the back, you start here. You smell more of the fresh air behind where the partition, and you can see a little bit of movement behind it as well.
Hello?
Do you do that, and you hear, you think it's a voice, but you just hear just going
It's
from there.
it's eating him. And it might eat me.
You may not want to complete that if you don't want to lose dice. So, just kidding from it. But yeah, you can feel the movement there behind it. Uh, but you do feel no, it's like, but it is there. So are you going to go around the corner?
I'm gonna grab the broom that old man McGregor usually has outside of the store, and I'm
Okay.
going to advance slowly, holding out the broom.
All right. So you do that and pull it from there, and you end up seeing two things in here. One, you see the figure, but inverted on the other side, where it was pushing out on the brick. You actually see that he's pushing in, and but it's not. You look at him closely, and it is a men in. It's one of the men in black. You can see the suit. You can see the ID badge that's obscured, but around him, it almost seems like there's a shadow that's being placed on top of him that is just of some shadow that has physical presence. And as you look around, it actually raises back and forth as he's struggling or moving, uh, pushing up and down. That's like, and also having spikes that are starting to protrude out of its body. And it's just, and you can see that he's trying to almost uh, push out of the wall, and on the other side of it you can actually see light. You can actually see that natural light in the fresh air as he's making the most bare holes in it. uh, but if you have but as this happens, though, the creature just seems to grow tighter over him.
Is it flush with the wall?
Almost, it's like almost essentially remember where you saw the figure going out. This is pushing into the wall now.
Can I like stick the broom in between the wall and it and try to use it like a lever to push out and try to let the poor G-man out?
Oh,
All right.
beautiful.
All right. I'm gonna say that in this case, if you want to, you have. That's like in order to do that, that's gonna be a courage roll, because you can see this thing eating it, and as you've looked around, your friends are not with you. So,
All right, guts plus courage.
yep.
That's 4. And The librarian taught me how to do this because I was reading a physics book.
Okay,
So
so
I'm gonna
leverage.
add
All
in
right, I'll
two
give that.
more.
Good job.
2 10s.
2 10s. All right. You summon up enough courage to get past in there. Uh, as you go through, you push it off of it. You try to put it between. You put it between the man and the entity. It feels like it's trying to bend, but you can hear the broom breaking. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you one chance on this. This will be skill. This can be. I'm gonna say this is feet and PE. So because you're gonna be trying to brace yourself and push this forward, just with enough brute force.
Uh, 3 6s.
3 6s. All right.
Hooray!
All right. Let's see. I'll go with an opposition here. All right. So you don't pull them off quickly. It's like you manage to pull off slightly, but as you do, you see the man's hand, essentially where you're pulling it from, start to struggle off, and part of this, whatever this thing comes off of it, and you see there's actually something in his hand. It looks like the hand that's coming free. It looks like it's really large remote with a couple of different glowing red buttons on it.
I will take the thing and
So,
stick the broom in his hand instead to try to get to pull him out.
all right. Yep. And as you do that, it well, it's like you actually garner the attention of the thing, and it turns. It so you see it comes off, turns to face you, and its head coalesces in something that looks like a wolf with glowing red eyes.
Ah!
And at that moment, the kid, it's like you see the agent's face now that it's been pulled off. It looks like it's just been scarred and ripped, but more importantly, that you see when you look at him, the rips are actually indentations where it looks like this thing's been pushing onto him. It's onto his skin so hard that it's all you assume it's almost trying to crush him from the force. But he's breathing and he looks at you and just looks at you with the wild eyes. And before he does anything else, he grabs the control out of your hand and in one movement shoves it towards the wall that he has been trying to force himself out. And that's when you wake up.
Ah.
Uh, when you wake up, all of the chess pieces are around you. They're actually staring down at you with great concern.
You changed religion.
Oh, you know what? So, I forgot to ask: do they all have separate names, or are you just identifying by the pieces?
No, Castle is Bastille.
Seal. Okay.
Bishop is Luther. Knight is Lancelot. Queen is Mary. King is Ray.
All right. So, in this case, yeah, Luther's looking down at you, going, "What do you mean?
You are Anglican.
Is that bad?"
You don't even know.
Oh God! All right, and leaving that pile fire behind right now. Yeah, you do wake up. Yeah, but that's the smell of that rotting area still really within your nostrils. So that's how your night went, Sarah. So all right, Arthur. Sorry, Oscar. You wake up. You've had a normal night. No particular big issues with it. But
I slept funny. My arm is numb.
yeah. So but I said so. We're doing from that. So you will both get up and go to school the next day. For that, I will say that you guys have the same biology class together. So,
Oh, great.
yeah. So I'm gonna be right back. Take a break while you guys reconnoiter your information and decide what you're doing next.
All right, so I brain dump everything except for the fact that Luther changed religion to you.
Wait, so you had a dream and you
Mhm.
left your house?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Uh,
I didn't go to a school. That would be stupid. Only weird teenagers would do that.
right. But okay, so you found a man in black, and he was attacked. He was stuck to the wall of the drugstore, or
Yeah, it was like a starfish or some sort of sucker was on top of him.
oh, so he's like being crushed between it.
Yeah, and that's why he's pushing out the other side.
Got it. Okay, that makes. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Like why? But I can picture that clearly now.
Hmm.
So what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna like let the starfish hang out by the drugstore, or
We should probably burn it off. But
burn
how
it
do I
off?
get back to the dream world?
Well, you just go to sleep again, right?
Sure, but then how do I take fire things?
I don't know. Maybe Mr. McGregor knows how we can get to that dream world,
Hmm.
or somebody else. If we have a chance, we could go to the
Yeah,
library and see.
he'll probably recommend pills and just
That's true. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So how do we get to the dream world? Well, we can research that. We can also ask about starfishes if we're in biology class. Maybe there's like a I don't know starfish
yeah.
information. Um, and yeah, after school or like during lunch, you want to try to cut out, or should we just finish school?
We should just finish school. It's just a G-man.
All right, that's true. Yeah, I mean it's no real people.
I mean, if he got out, he'll probably, take us in and do whatever sort of creepy experiments they do on us.
Yeah, probably make us wear ties. Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And like dresses.
Ugh. Yeah, well, let's not get involved with that. But we need to at least protect Old Man McGregor's place. So peeling Dream Starfish off of it, that sounds kind of fun.
Well, yeah, soon. And then we waited.
So Sarah, what did you bring for lunch today?
I got some chili.
Oh, chili.
Yeah,
Oh, like out of a thermos?
yeah.
Oh, all right.
I like how literally everything I do is referencing some horror movie.
Well, it's around that time of the year, I think. Do we know? Wait, has it been established what time of the year it is in game?
Not a clue.
Okay, we can make it
I'm
October.
going to hold my firm idea that it is sometime around Halloween.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be pre-Halloween because everything after Halloween is Christmas.
Fair.
All right. Sorry.
Aaron, what time of the year is this?
It is currently November, so it is just right after
Christmas.
Damn it.
So, well, I will say, yeah, Christmas stuff has not gone up as of yet. Everything else is still, it's about mid-November, so you're right in the middle of Thanksgiving.
Oh, and this is the 80s, so that's why it's not. There's no Christmas decorations the day after Halloween.
Yeah,
We're
so
not into that point yet.
there are a couple people right now that's probably usually made. Eddie Baker usually will do that, but she's normally known for only having, like one keeping that Christmas decoration up 24/7 all year long, no matter what. So, all right. But so with the information that you have reconnoitered, what's going on? What is your decision?
So I think we are going to ask the biology teacher if there's any sort of starfish or something that like sticks on to people and tries to push them through walls and stuff.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a great question.
Okay, so all right.
Wonderful question. I'm going to ask it exactly like that and totally not get sent to the counselor's office.
All right, so no worries. So I'll say that you managed to get through this school right now. Are and you have some time in between lunch and your extended recess to talk to them. So let's see who. Let's say Arthur. Who is your What's your biology teacher's name?
Oh, it's Mr. Lurg.
Mr. Lurg. Okay,
Yeah, Lerg.
Mr. Lurg. All right. So you go in there. You see that he is grading papers, just kind of happily going through. With it. Yep. Looks like Sarah. Oscar, what can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Lurg, we couldn't find it in the book, but we're wondering if there are any big starfish that push people through or push fish through ship bottoms or crush fish. How do starfish eat? Do they crush fish?
Do you, you're wanting to know how they eat?
Yeah, or
Is
as
it
part
like,
of attack.
is there anything that like pushes people against walls to eat? People
Uh,
being used metaphorically here. I'm talking about things.
we, I can, well, that's like some cephalopoid species, more octopuses will usually can try to use their tentacles to trap or crush prey if they're trying to bring them in. Before doing that, I can't remember anything of a starfish with it. Is this part of that's like this isn't part of the report we're doing because we're currently working on uh, we're working on mammals right now. Remember?
Yeah, we're just curious because it looks like. Have you been by Old Ben McGregor's drugstore lately?
No, not recently. Why?
Well, they got this weird Halloween decoration that looks like a guy's being crushed against a wall, and I thought if that was natural or not.
Uh, well, again, we're 2 weeks out of Halloween, so I'd imagine anything should be taken up unless somebody was just trying to take one of the old it's like take one of the old haunted house decorations up and do something funny with it. But mm, no, I can't imagine
It
why
smells
they would
like a bag of dead cats too. Just
smell
awful.
smells like a bag of dead cats.
Yes.
Yeah, like rotting meat. Like that one time when we left the fridge open.
Huh. Oh yes, yes, yes. Unfortunately, that came with that as well. I remember that's like we had the discussion about that.
Those
So
poor
any
frogs.
specimens have to yeah specimens have to be taken care of a little bit better if you're going to learn anything from that. But uh no, but well, describe me what you're looking from this. So I'm gonna need a little more details. Now he's pressing for other things, so you're gonna have to figure out a way to get his information, skill check to get the information out without letting him know about what you're talking about.
That sounds like a connive to me.
Sounds like it's all you, Sarah.
All right.
Sounds like a very healthy connive for me.
Mhm.
Is there a way that I can help by being physically distracting?
Let's see. Do you have any charm?
I have no charm. I am
You
not.
have no charm. Yeah. Okay. You don't have charm on that. Let's see. I would at least say if we're trying to be out. Hmm. I would at least give well, describe what you want to do and then see if we'll see how many rolls I can give you on that.
Okay,
So,
so I just want to like poke around at like if we have specimens in formaldehyde or like gopher skeletons or things like that. Just like kind of look like I'm just trying to be obnoxious so it doesn't take us too seriously.
let's see. Uh well, if you're wanting to look around, but basically, I would say if you're trying to make it look like you're messing around with stuff when you shouldn't be and not actually breaking it as a distraction, I will give you hand plus shop this time.
Okay.
Uh, for it. So that would for you, it looks like this is gonna be a base hands check, but if you can make enough off of that, we'll see.
Yeah, I just want to help Sarah out.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, you
I'm
tried,
not
but
helpful.
you see that's like you see that Mr. Lurg is just asking you not to do that while keeping his eyes directly on Sarah. So, All right, so this will be your connive check to see if you can get him to spill out any more information without letting him know about the horrifying things you've seen in reality and in your dreams.
2 sevens.
Okay, 2 sevens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. Good enough quality on that. So he looks at you. Well, so you want to know why something might be looking like it's crushing something instead. Uh, well, it's not very often. Again, you see these only on smaller creatures and usually in other ones, but some creatures can form it's like a parasitic relationship where they try to overtake it, but that's like in other cases they may be trying to form something of a symbiotic relationship. Or they could try to get something out that will be benefiting both of the. That's like possibly benefiting both of the species. Although, without seeing anything from that, I wouldn't be. That's like we wouldn't be able to really assume what was going on. So, but that's like, although it's this honestly sounds like this is more about the part of the interesting story. So, you might want to tell Miss. That's like Miss Smithson about that too. It sounds like it's a lot more interesting for their creative writing class.
Okay.
All right. So, oh, thank you very much, kids. So glad we had this talk. And he goes back to grading papers.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Mr. Lord.
Bye.
Yep. So he does that as he's going back to his rubric. So yeah. So from the dream, you have a little bit something else from what that thing might have been doing.
So it's trying to mix with him.
Possibly, but for what? That's like to what end though?
Wait,
So
shit! This is the '80s. I can't reference Dragon Ball Z. Shit.
But although you know,
Alien, it was trying
actually,
to lay an egg in his throat.
yeah, Sarah, go ahead and make another brains and remember. Or
Brandon, remember?
Mhm.
2 more 6s.
2 more 6s. All right, that is enough for it. But you honestly do. It's like you remember when you're talking to your dad about some of the other horror movies. Specifically, the thing is that imagine you could get a lot done if you were something. That's like
Oh
if you
no!
look
It's
like
trying to
something,
become a. It's trying to become a Man in Black.
or at least trying to hide. That's like if you could see something hijacking on the outside of it. So, but do remember that from your, like I said, your dream gave you a lot of other different details that you didn't see before, including the fact that there might be something else lying around that crime, the crime scene now.
It's time for more diagonal skittering.
Yep.
All right. Kumori may assist.
Okay. So, but I will say that right now it's after lunch. You don't know when the Men in Black are coming back, and the longer that you can wait to the end of school, but there's always the possibility that you can. It's like that whatever you may be looking for, and it's like at that site now may be gone by the time you get there. So, are you going to wait it out and take the chance, or are you going to take take a chance with getting out of school early?
I'm willing to take a chance.
I'm a good kid. They'll never suspect me of being a terrible liar.
There you go.
Okay. So, all right. So in this case, you're gonna try to sneak out. How are you getting out?
I guess I'll just slip through small spaces again. No one's suspecting to see a little bishop skittering across the hallways.
All right. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oscar, how are you getting out?
None of my abilities are shared, so I will just attempt to just dodge out. You know, go to the gym or whatever during lunch and cut out the back door.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, actually, I do apologize. If you wanted to use Ninja Vanish, that is something that she can take you along with. So that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that.
All right, then yes, that is definitely what I will use.
Yeah.
It's way more foolproof. I'll just go to the toilet and never come back.
All right.
2 ways,
So-
by the way.
All right, that's enough. So,
They'll never suspect me. Wee.
all right. So, and Oscar, what do you have?
3 5s.
3 5s. All right. So, going with quick on there. So, all right, you managed to get back out and take and get down. And managed to go ahead and get back downtown. And since you had the 3 5s in between the quality and the speed, you do manage to get down there right before a. That's like as you're us without anybody else being there, as far as you can tell at the moment. So the coordinates are still up. The tape is still up, so it is middle of the day, so there are some people moving around downtown. But I would say if you can let's see. There's nobody else is seeing you right now, so if I would say if each of you can do a PE and feet check with enough successes, you can get by that without any problem.
Sounds doable.
I've got to figure out how to do this with 3 dice.
I
Okay.
have 3 3s.
3 3s. All
I
right.
am going to use my relationship with Gerald, the guy from the park.
Okay.
Yeah, because occasionally he just likes to. He likes to go unseen.
Okay.
He likes to be a leaf in the wind, as old men tend to
Good
do.
stealthy Gerald.
He learned it from the war,
Nice. Which war?
World War II.
Okay.
Uh-oh. 1, 3, 6. Nope, that's failure.
Okay. So in this case, for both of those, Oscar, you managed to get past it without any problems. Sarah, you go through and you get through, but you have knocked down some of the caution tape.
Well,
So it is and get tangled up in slightly, so it is very obvious that how you have gotten here. So with it's like within that, but yeah. So anybody else coming through right now, that's like they probably once they come up, they'll notice something has been disturbed and might be a little bit of a problem. So you get past there, you go into the cordoned area, and both of you still see the same figure now. But go ahead. But it's changed a little bit though, and it's a little bit it's off depending on what you see it. You see that it's contorted slightly differently, where its right arm is extending out and the palm is now facing towards the ground. And as you look down, you see that there is looks like a very familiar looking remote to you, Sarah. That is still is chrome in color, with the red buttons that you saw before, but it appears to be very scratched in different areas, almost gouges that are put within the different areas around the body.
all right. It's here in the physical world.
It is there. So I would say for you,
We should
that
totally
if nothing else.
snag that.
Yeah, that's yeah, that is. Yeah, that is creeping you the hell out. Because as far as you knew, that was a dream. 1, and 2, that was only last night.
After
And
I
it's
watched that, after I
still
watched that
creepy.
other movie, I'm not so surprised about that.
So, but the remote is down there if you want to investigate it.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Right. So, the remote itself, you see that it doesn't look on the front of it. It does not look very obvious. There's the couple. It has a total of 6 red buttons. Each of these, seemingly for some other different function. One of those appears to say trace, open, recall. And the fourth one that the other 3 right now, so the wording seems to be more scratched down on them. You can't exactly see what those do.
Open. Press open.
All right. Yeah, you press it, and for the moment, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So it just you kind of keep pressing it down off of it. I would say that if you want to, you can now do a brain. Each of you can do a brains notice check to see if any other details are coming up.
4, 8.
2 4s.
2 4s. All right.
3 more 6s.
Jeez. Okay. So,
It's like what, 2 days before Halloween? This is expected.
so it's after Halloween.
In our time.
Yeah, it says yeah. In kid time, it's always Halloween. All right. So you take a look at things. Sarah, with your 4s, you turn on the back and notice that it actually has an address information on it. Specifically, going. It gives you an address in Jenkinsville, which is almost 30 miles away from where you are.
That's far.
And specifically notes a notes a listing for the Virgil C. Summer Nuclear Generating Station.
Virgil C.
Summer Nuclear Generating Station. And that's like that. That's like is where it was generally set. And for this though, the next one that you can see, Oscar, with your notice check with 3 6s, as you turn around, one of the other buttons that was scratched out that you couldn't see says locate. And it seems that button is blinking at the moment.
Oh. Press it.
Okay. You press that one, and it starts emitting a very steady beep. It just keeps going beep, 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 beep. Moving it around. As you move it around, you face more towards the east. It's like the east, and you hear it pick up just a little bit, just ever so slight. Beep, 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 beep.
Okay. So we have trace, open, recall, and locate. Are those our buttons? Okay.
Yes.
So we're using locate, and it's beeping as we move it around. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's great news, Sarah.
All right. And working out from it, so you've been able to find that. Let's see. I'm going to say you're not going to be able to do it since you're way excited and listening to this. Sarah, you can make one. I'm gonna say this is a brains plus note remember check.
You gotta stop doing this to me. It's my lowest brain skill, man.
It's still higher than mine.
Oh, okay. I will be nice with this. I will say that you can do outthink as well.
I rolled the remember.
Okay.
2 8s or 3 more 6s.
Okay, 3 more. All right. Since this was not a speed-based one, it's worth enough. You remember that from the dream that again, this is probably it's like if this is tech that they were the other. This is possibly what they were looking for outside of the man who is now trapped in the wall forever, and they're probably going to be back any minute. So, in order to basically get away, you're gonna have to make at least one, I would say, feat. I will give you another one. So this will be guts and win to at least to be a little more stealthy about it, or feet and pee if you're just wanting to run the hell away before the cars pull up.
Either way, it's garbage.
Okay. So, or if you have a third option with that's like with your monsters, you always have that available.
All I have is the squeeze. Oh wait, we're right near the storm drain, still,
Drugstore.
right?
You're at the
Yes.
storm drain. Yes.
I'm gonna hop into the storm drain. Screw
All right.
this.
I will accompany you by teleporting down there.
Okay.
Just so you're not alone in this sewers.
All right. So you can go ahead and do that. So that'll be both your monster rolls.
2 7s.
Okay.
I will also use my 2 7s.
Okay. All right. That is enough. So just barely though, as you get right down into the drain, and you hear all of the That's like you hear a police car, and as you look through the drain, two other black vehicles pull up, and 5 or 6 different agents pull out and immediately swarm the area. Look around. You can hear through their. That's why I'm like, where did it go? What happened? We just had a locator signal come up. You need to trace it. That's like trace it immediately if this Aperture device has come back online again. We thought it was lost. We should have gotten it, so it's just constant talk back and forth. Um, so you do have it's like you do still have the locator on, and it's still giving you a general ping. So directing you further towards the east.
We're gonna follow it, Sarah. I think we should follow it.
Let's follow it. Why not?
All right.
Hooray!
Okay. So this will be the locator from it. So we can let's see. I'm going to say, yeah, you don't have, they're all back in the alleyway, so it's not going to even be an issue of teleporting for that.
We could
But
literally pop up 2 blocks down because man-sized sewers.
okay, yeah, if you want to roll to see if you can actually come out on the correct way, if you think that your pieces can navigate, I will give you that, Sarah, as a roll on your monster.
On the monster?
Yeah, to see if you can. This will be navigating the sewer system to see if you can actually get out at the correct way, and also avoiding, pan-dimensional clowns.
Please avoid them.
It's not quite Maine, but I'm assuming South Carolina has its share of sewer monsters.
2 sevens.
Okay.
Plus, we could
All
beat
right.
up that dumb clown. Wait, hold on. Can we even use this reference?
You know what? Let's see. When was it?
It was written.
Let's see.
It miniseries was released in 1990.
Wait, I'm actually saying the original novel too.
I don't think we'll be able to use this.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Well, at this point, we've had it. So,
Wait,
all right, but you need
88?
88. Yeah.
Totally able to use it.
Okay. So,
Novel was
all right.
86.
May have been it here. So let's see. Let's see. Right. That's okay. Anyway, yeah.
Forward.
But anyway, yeah, that was that. So going forward, we discussed that. You were managed to go ahead and find an appropriate exit, so you do not get lost down there with the rest of the issues. And you managed to follow. Let's like follow the tracker. It's taking a while for it because you're having to go a few steps from it and look more nonchalant. But as you come out, you find that once the locate button right now ping is going off at its highest, it appears to be almost all the way outside of town, about a mile. That's like past the city limit marker, and is at the side of some private stockyard barn. On the other side, it stops you at basically the wall of the largest enclosure there, where you can hear different animals. It's like different cows in the back shuffling about and grazing.
I really don't feel like I should have had chili today.
So
So,
fence or a wall that we have to climb over.
well, no, it's you because you move towards the side of it too. You can actually see it's because it's the wall of this enclosure, but as you move to side, you can actually see that there's just fencing that's keeping the cows in, although they're really tightly packed. But the signal becomes stronger, weaker as you go that. But as you get back towards it, when you locate, one of the other, that's like the open button flashes on the remote.
Oh, Sarah, please do the honors.
No.
Okay, then I press it.
God damn it.
All right. So, going from that, you press it, and immediately in the middle of the wall, you see what appears to be just a ripping seam coming down. It does not sound like metal, though. It does not sound like something is carving into it. It sounds wet and organic. And as you see it pulling through, it just keeps shredding down and opening up to where there is a multicolored membrane sitting in front of you.
Is there a close button?
We have two buttons. We don't know what they do.
Not that you can see on that. So at the moment, you can press the other two, but they're not flashing.
Do you have anything to throw in it?
Ooh. I don't, but Kumori can throw stuff.
Okay. This is at least when you look at it. Both of you look back with your monsters, and something at least takes it from a little bit odd. One, they're both now actually standing behind you in their open forms. You didn't call them to that. You didn't tell them to do it.
Oh dear, they look intimidating. They look scary.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you look back, they almost look scared.
What is it?
What? Yeah.
I don't. Kamari speaks up. I do not believe it is a wise idea to enter there. I didn't see it before with. It's like when if this is coming through there, but there's something unsettlingly familiar about that. Something that
Unsettlingly familiar. Okay.
it's like I remember it from a dream or something else. I don't think we would be safe in there.
Duly noted.
It's working from it. Let's see. Going from that though, but it is. But yeah, you look towards that. The remote again. You're not seeing a close button, and the aperture seems to be getting wider and wider.
What did you do?
I just press the open button. It's fine.
It told you not to press the open button.
No, you said you weren't gonna press it.
All right. So from that though, let's take a look. Both of you can roll a notice check.
No dice.
2 tens.
2 tens. All right. You, Sarah, noticed that as this is widening, it seems like the cattle on the other side of the enclosure are getting a little bit are getting a little bit spooked. They seem to be unsettled by something.
Look around the other side of the wall.
So, you don't. That's like you don't see when you look around there. You don't see the aperture on the other side, so it doesn't even seem like it exists. That membrane exists on the other side, but all of the cattle have moved to the far side of the particular enclosure that's closest to the wall, and are all staring at it, just shuffling nervously.
I didn't know cows could shuffle.
Is there a stick nearby?
Yeah, you do see that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a stick nearby. So
poke the tear with a stick.
okay. So you're gonna poke at it.
Yes. Have to.
All right. You take the stick. You poke it in. And it goes. It seems like it's pushing in, but a little bit from the membrane. So with this, go ahead and make a hands punching roll.
So am I trying to be soft or am I trying to be?
This is just more or less. Well, okay. I will. Well, I will give you a luck choice in this. So even or odds.
Oh, odds.
Odds. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, you're trying to be careful, but you don't. It's hard to determine the tension of this membrane, and the stick pokes through it. And immediately, as you do that, you feel as though a vacuum has been opened up, and you start pulling towards it, uncontrolled.
Oh, can we run away? Can I run away?
You can try, but this is a very high pull, so this is going to be a feat PE to see if you can at least get out of that. Sarah, while you're making that roll, Sarah, you hear what appears to be a pop and then just a horrible rushing of wind as you see something that's like hear something being sucked in, and you can actually see on the other side because of the strength of this, the enclosure wall bends in a little bit with the force of apparently whatever is being pulled on the other side of the membrane.
What did you do?
So yeah, this will be yeah, go if you want to get around. You can run around and you can see what it is. And let's see, Oscar is currently trying to run away from it.
Yeah, I'm slow. I have no matches.
No matches. Okay, you were being dragged in. So I'll say for that, you do have Kumari there, which I'll give you a roll in a second. Sarah, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to send out Bastille the Rook to stop him from getting dragged in.
Okay.
Just like sit right in front of it because he's a giant piece of obsidian.
All right. This is going to be hard because he is he's almost reluctant to get anywhere near this, especially now that is going forward. So let's see. For that, it's I will say that in order to make him do this, it will cost a relationship point that will have to be gained back later.
Ooh.
Since he is utterly terrified, he wants to help, but something's wrong.
Can we opt into infighting while he takes his turn to try to get dragged up by Komori?
Okay. So you're going to infight in order. All right.
You gotta go help him. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, you're gonna do that. So, yeah, in this case, Oscar, you have one shot to have Kumari pull you out of the fire, so to speak.
All right, she's gonna use celluloid trap mistress to try and entangle me with some Betamax ropes,
Okay.
so then she can pull me away.
All right, you can do that. So,
oh, no matches.
no matches
No
whatsoever.
matches on 6 dice. Yep. Nope.
Holy shit. Okay.
Down.
So, all right. So Kumari valiantly tries to pull you in. She wraps everything around you, but it just the pull
Oh, wait.
of.
So question.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at celluloid trap mistress. It has
Yes.
awesome +1.
You
Yes.
didn't set a die, did you?
Match on a 10.
Did you not set a die though?
No, I didn't set a die beforehand.
Yeah, it has to be said beforehand. So.
Okay.
It's okay, but yeah, if you remember that for the next time, so
Yep, okay.
all right, but go ahead. But this case, you get pulled in. The trap is set. She's desperately trying to get you, but you see that the pull is too much. And in a last ditch effort, she sees that she almost wants to not hold on to you, but she just can't bring herself to that, and wraps herself completely around you as you both go tumbling into the hole. So you black out for that second. We'll get back to you in a second. Sarah, Oscar, and Kumari have just gone down the cattle hole. We'll just call it today. So
Crap.
So this is still open, and actually, yeah. Go ahead and roll. In this case, Sarah, odd or even?
Even.
All right. Okay, you do have the remote. It was thrown off to the side when Oscar was pulled in, so you have a choice in this matter if you want to try something else, but your friend is in there now.
What's my choice?
Well, your choices are you can leave him. You don't know where that leads, and that is a problem. You can try to damage the remote in the hopes that it will close down whatever has happened, or you can follow him in.
If I break the remote, it might shut it.
True. So that's a possibility from it.
Okay, guys, I think we have to go in.
So, all right. So you're gonna decide to go ahead and force that in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I will go ahead and since this is off from a relationship, I'm that's like your monster friends are still not convinced to this one. So I will
There's a
allow
kid
you.
who's gonna die in there. How could you not be convinced? You're a bloody bishop.
So,
This is
uh,
against your religion to leave the people to die.
we see
Oh
this as a
wait,
sacrifice play.
how dare you? Get in.
All right. If you want to convince them, I'm going to say that this is going to be face plus charm. I will allow you to use your any relationship points, but since this is a force, that's going to be a permanent loss because you are forcing them into a position which they think is highly dangerous and is a risk to their existence.
So I'm going to use my relationship with Gerald, the old park guy, because he did what he had to do, and so
Okay.
do you.
All right. So go ahead and make that roll.
I don't think Gerald has a
2 9s, 2 8s, 2 7, 3 sevens.
All right. So
Take your pick. They're going in.
all right, so mark that relationship off permanently, but your monsters are not convinced. They think this is a problem, but they will go ahead and do it. So, all right, so you immediately fling. That's like take them all in your hands, fling them in, and you lose consciousness for a second as you're just overwhelmed with smells and it's like
I
overpowering odor and a flash of multicolored lights.
I have the remote with me.
Okay, you do have the remote with you. Good, good. I'm glad you said that. So,
I picked it up, looked at it as I said, what are my choices? And then I decided to jump in.
all right, good. All right. So you're both in. That's the last thing you remember for a while. You and I will say that Oscar, you're the first one to wake up.
Ah,
So you look around you and you see that you seem to be in the same field as before. But it just seemed, but the light is all wrong. You look up, you see that there is a black sky, but with stars that are multicolored all around you, and just an overpowering smell of rot that just does not seem right to you. The other thing, though, so well, if you kind of move around with it, your body feels a little bit strange. You can't really determine why it's like what's going on, but it just feels off.
is Kumori around at all?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. You have to say it again.
Uh, where is my monster?
Do you? You don't see Kamari, so
Oh,
with it.
that's
But
no good. Do I have my belt buckle? Is she hiding?
are you looking at your belt buckle?
Yes.
Oh well, you look down, and well, the belt buckle is there, but it also appears to be all around you. So all of her tape seems that's like it seems to be all on top of you.
Okay, so I am made of Betamax tape now.
You put it up your arm, and it looks reminiscently like Kumari's.
Wow, amazing! I spin around in circles for a brief moment.
All right, you do that, and you hear a voice in your head like, "Whoa, whoa, I'm getting dizzy."
Ah, okay, there you are. Uh,
Ugh. Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry. I could not prevent you from going in. I am so sorry. And you actually feel your body, you almost involuntarily lean to the ground, kneel to the
ah,
ground.
right, as if she's kind of kneeling.
Hmm.
Okay, it's okay. I was poking it with this stick. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
All right, so you broke yourself with six. She apologizes.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh God, I think we are. You look over and you see that there is another figure sitting well, laying on the ground next to you.
Is it a figure I recognize?
Uh, kind of in a way, because as you're almost getting a mixed image of both you and Kamari, but uh, you see what appears to be uh, basically what looks like a large, well, a human-sized person, a kid in this case, that's made up entirely of that's like different chess pieces in limbs. You have the king at the center, uh, queen off one side,
Oh, that's
bishop in the other,
terrible.
and apparently pawn bases for what their the legs are.
Ooh. Um, Chess
Yes.
man.
Yep. Oh, and apparently the police are on their way. So, and
You're under arrest for playing role-playing games in the Midwest.
exactly. So, all right, Sarah, you start to regain consciousness.
Uh,
So you wake up in a scene that seems very familiar to you from a dream not that long ago.
not again.
But as you bring it up, you realize that you don't actually seem to have a hand to your arm. And as you put it up to your face, you see, let's see, what was your queen's name again?
Mary.
Mary. You see Mary looking back at you.
You're not happy, are you?
Not particularly,
Had to be
nor am I
done.
amused.
Had to be done.
Yeah. So yes, you see, you're looking around and you hear the voices of the other pieces talking to you as you seem to be part of the gestalt now.
Dude, sweet.
Looking around you, you see that you are in this. It's like you seem to be again in the same area, but it's just either it is alien to you now, and moving forward with it. Now that you that's like arrived, and you look over and you see Kumari, but not as herself. She appears to look like Oscar.
Hello.
Huh. So we fused with our monsters, huh?
Yeah, or we're wearing them?
Or they are us.
Kumari, at least to you, Oscar says, it was, I think this is the only way we could protect you.
By me wearing you like a suit. Got it.
I think it's more than that. I think it's just, and I think it's a way that we're more like one person or one thing.
So I have finally achieved ninjahood. Thank you.
I wouldn't go far as to say that yet, but in any case, it's pretty. It's like it's much easier to what that's like where we are. Um, so you have that around. Sarah, you said you saw the remote, correct?
Yes.
You do you see another? It's like you see the light has come up on the trace button.
Should probably press the trace button now.
Okay. Yeah, you actually pull it out, even though you have no actual hands to really hold on. It seems like you have no problem gripping onto things. You do, and a little different setting comes up. Instead of hearing the beeping like you would before, uh, a a, a light at the end or a laser or something shoots forward from the remote and seems to be pointing in a straight line going further to the south.
Let's get walking.
So you look around. So with this, yep, it's a little bit questioning from it, but you're going through. So all right. Um let's see. Both of you. Um go ahead and go ahead and make courage checks and then let me know what you get.
4.
All right.
Nothing. I lose.
Nothing at all?
Day,
Okay.
sir.
All
Two
right.
fours.
All right, 2 4s. All right. You both take a step forward, and Sarah, you are more familiar with this feeling than uh that's like than Oscar is. However, you are not. That's like you don't deal with the effects as well. Uh, that lurching effect when you moved, you actually sped up when taking one step, and the entire scenery blurs before you. You that's like it actually takes a that's like a toll on you for the moment. So for temporary, courage is temporarily down to 1 for the moment. But You to go back down, fall down, and it feels like you're almost about to be sick. Oscar, you come out of it a little bit better, but you're kind of stumbling around since it doesn't feel like a normal stride or a walk how this should work.
Ugh.
So hold on, I lose a point of courage for a moment.
Yes, temporarily, yes.
Down to 0. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, so we can get that for rest out of it. But yes, you take a look at that, and they say us like it. You realize that you are now probably at least a mile away from where you were before.
Oh, we can get 30 miles in no time.
Which is working out from it. So, all right. So it seems it's a little bit there, a little bit disconcerting. So how that's like, what are you saying? What are you saying to each other? How are you dealing with the new environment?
Nausea.
It's fine. It's like being on a big boat. Every step is a big giant wave, and we go up and we go down, but we're really just moving further away. Yeah, where do you think we're going, Sarah?
Towards an exit.
I hope you're right.
So, which looks it from there. But yeah, so as you found out, this is like Sarah, like this is like the dream. You can actually move a little more quickly towards it, but it takes a bit of control. So, for these steps, this will be somewhat similar to the strange powers now, and now that you're in combined, you can actually use monster abilities to be able to supplement your own. So, in this case, if you have a specific movement that would help you control these steps better, in this case, for you, Kamari, I would say that Shadow Striker would probably help you specifically since you're needing to move. And if you have your diagonal movement, or if you have something that would keep you more stable, Sarah, you can use that in turn to help stabilize.
We'll figure it out. I don't really have anything for stability.
Okay.
Like balance.
Well, as I'm talking more about movement too, because you talked about you using the diagonal movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That'd be
I would
pretty
say
much the only thing that I got for movement.
okay. So both of you go ahead and roll that and see what you come up with.
Yeah, I don't think teleporting is a good idea at all.
2 2s. They're slowly getting worse.
Okay.
2 5s.
2 5s. All right. So yeah, Kamari, you managed to go with the leaps, but it's taking you a little bit. It's like Sarah, it's taking you and it's like and the That's like and the pieces, the quintet a little bit further, just because you are still getting used to this. Dreams, since you didn't have your physical body there, seem to be a little bit better controlled. So, but as you're going through, you keep making the leaps down, and it's like the line is taking you out. Both of you can make brains notice checks.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Nope. Okay.
10s.
10s. All right. Yeah. Since Sarah, since you and the quintet are going a little bit slower, sometime once you're passing through, you manage to get through. I would say this is a gas. You actually come by what appears to be a roadside gas station, and stopping there for a second to kind of rest up between those. Uh, you notice off to the side what appears to be one of those shadows again. That's that's like that's like one of the different shadows that seems to be coalescing or slithering around. It's like slithering around the station itself, not attacking anything or doing anything. It just seems to be almost patrolling.
We'll be
Eh,
very quiet and sneak
Okay.
past it.
All right. Well, as you do, you see that it's like you're starting to move, but you see its head comes up, and looking at it again, it's this one is almost similar in shape. It seems to have like again the more of amorphous figure, but once it goes up, its head shapes a little bit more. This one almost looks like a bear, but not that's honestly not a that's like an actual real bear, but almost like a teddy bear of some sort. Like the closest thing you can see is almost like looking almost like a Teddy Ruxpin. And
Hmm.
looking around, and as it starts to move from back to forth, you see it's almost swaying a little bit, and you can hear a little bit of music playing, which is a bit off.
What
It's
kind of
like
Somebody
music?
put a
off.
Michael Jackson tape in the Teddy Ruxpin.
So, this one actually, yeah, it's kind of funny that you say that because you can hear Thriller going off from that. And as this thing keeps going forward, you see it shrink further and further down to the point where it's actually forming something of an odd amalgamation of real wild bear and a Teddy Ruxpin. And the minute that the tape stops, it looks down, actually touches his chest, and disappears completely.
Hmm.
So, and that's I was like, and for the briefest moment, and you will both go. Yes, and I'll say that Oscar, you have had come through to see this. You actually see that bright white light that Sarah you associated with the portal going back to home, or the it's like your world,
Right.
and it's done. And as from there, the bear is no longer there.
Oh.
What happened, Sarah? I missed it. I was, distracted by this guy.
There was a bear with Thriller, and it shrank and disappeared.
Oh, like a monster? Was it a monster?
Was it? Did it look like a monster?
I would say make a brain. That's like make a brains plus outthink roll.
Sevens.
Sevens. You actually are, in this case, you're supplemented a little bit by memories that you don't remember having, but you think that the quintet does. That you kind of recall back playing chess by yourself on some of those some of those winter nights with your grandfather, and then when he had to leave or do something else, and you're just playing by yourself. It almost feels like something else was playing with you. That imagination that coalesced was there, and then you remember being in front of each other. Essentially, you were seeing the quintet, and the quintet is seeing you.
This time travel stuff hurts my head sometimes.
So, but yeah, you're not really sure totally, but this place seems to be connected to the monsters in one way or another.
Is this where you guys came from? I say to my hand.
And I'll say the bishop, at least Luther, responds, "We don't really remember, but we remember that's like all we usually remember was nothing or darkness before we met you."
Hmm.
So, and Oscar on that, you can almost feel Kamari tightening up just a little bit, or at least what you feel are that's like your coiled tapes.
Like I'm in a glove.
Yep, a little bit. So, but you do see that. Nothing else is coming from that. So the light is still there. I'll say that if you want,
Oh,
you've been able.
so is that, sorry, question. Is the white light,
Yes.
did it like appear when the bear disappeared and now it's just like hanging out in space?
No, it disappeared.
Okay, all right,
So
sorry.
it is gone.
Okay.
So, all right. But you do see that your trace signal is still going out. So, excuse me. But you have a little bit further to go. So, let's see. Both of you, since you've gotten used to it, we're not going to have it making the issues of, excuse me, that of your getting used to it. So to get there as quickly as possible, go ahead and make a feet plus PE roll.
Oh God, why? No.
3 nines.
Okay. All right, and I will say, okay, if you don't make that 2, you get the other shot. If you have the movement with your monster, you can make the movement through that. I apologize.
Gladly.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. Okay. So just no matches at all?
Nothing.
Okay. So yeah, you are still going a little bit behind that. So Oscar, you made yours?
Yes, 3 nines.
3 nines. Okay. So I'll say that allows you to pull Sarah along a little bit. Just the environment's a little bit too much for you, unfortunately, Sarah.
And just
Hey,
pull
hey,
you
hey.
along
It's
with some
not. It's not that I'm going slow. It's
beta
that
tape
I'm taking
tendrils.
careful steps and I'm looking around.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
Right. So, all right. But now that you've gone there, you managed to come out into a field. So let's see if I can pull the picture from that. You have. Let's see. You see essentially this, but in the same environment that you are out. It's a large field that has a larger building, domed building on the outside of it. But above it, it seems like the multicolored aurora borealises that you're seeing floating on there seem to be much more active.
Hmm.
And around the perimeter of this is a large fence that you can see more of the darker amorphous figures that seem to be either patrolling or shaking at, like they're trying to get in.
Huh. So it's a giant bug zapper.
So in a way, it almost can be that, but I will say, let's see. Both of you can roll brains plus notice.
Ten's better.
Okay,
And 2 8s.
2 8s. All right. All right, both of you see that on the on the periphery of the fence that they're shaking at, you see that there are other human-sized silhouettes that are moving back and forth. From the distance, it's hard to tell, but you can probably assume that they're adults, and it almost looks like it's a combination of an older deep sea diving suit and a more modern space. It's like hard space suit that they would use on the shuttle.
They look real.
And each of them are patrolling back and forth with what appear to be rifles in their hands. And a large electric prod at the tip of those that they'll event you. Sometimes when another one of these blobs is getting closer, they'll reach through and and tase one of them.
Those guys look mean.
They look like Men in Black.
Yeah. I mean, the black blobs or the spacesuits? The spacesuits look mean.
No, the spacesuits are the Men in Black, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you do see that as well, and you do notice, at least from the feeling that you're getting from the other monsters, is that your monsters are giving almost the feeling that of some sort of kinship to this, especially now from what you've seen, and also that they're trying to get something towards something in it as well. That they're blocked off from something that they need.
Oh.
Is there a way to communicate to the black blobs?
You don't know, but you can try. So what is ads like? How are you attempting to talk to them?
Well, I have projector stun. Um, so I'm also imagining that since since Kumori is like a tape monster, that I could project maybe like some short, like a supercut of me trying to communicate.
Let's see. For usually that's within teleport. With it. But I will say that if you can, this will be a 2 roll to see if you can do this. The first one would be a brains outthink to see if that plan could actually work with Kumari's, and then
Okay.
if it is able to, you get a a sufficient roll, you may attempt it.
All right, I'm going to have to use some relationships. Oh, let's do dad. We have a
Okay.
relationship with two, so it's important, but we need to communicate more. So I'm just like taking his advice. You just gotta tell me what's going on. Just try to communicate more.
All right.
2 1s.
2 1s. So all right.
Just
It is Yeah, it is just barely what you have. So this means that I will say that this will allow you to make your message, but it's essentially going to be whatever film you're essentially. It's Kamari's tape attempt is going to be the essentially a silent film pantomime
Yes,
towards
exactly.
the one you
me help you.
That means that you're gonna have to get a higher quality on that to be able to get that run. So go ahead and make your projector stun roll and see what you get.
No matches at high. I got 3 4s.
3 4s. Okay. I will say that so the result of this is that you guys get close enough. The other amorphous blobs are ignoring you. But when you describe how the projector is going, how is this communicating? What idea are you trying to communicate towards them?
So like on the ground near the blobs, there's like a movie screen, kind of fuzzy at the top and bottom, but it's just like
Okay.
various fingers pointing back towards where we are, and like cars driving and stoplights and stuff, just like go, go.
All right. So what are you trying to convey through that? What's the actual message?
To come over and talk to us.
All right. To try to get one of them to come over to you. All right. Let's see. All right. You unfortunately because it is so esoteric, you can you only get one of the notices that come towards you. It's actually fairly small, almost looking like it's like a rabbit of some sort, but it does come hopping over and sits there for a second, looking at both of you. Hey, and as it looks between you, you have form. Why are you here?
He fell in. Are you a monster?
I am. I am just me. I'm looking for form. And that's like the way out. That's like the way out is blocked. We can't find our form.
It's in there.
Uh, the large ones are keeping it. That's like are keeping us away from it.
Large ones.
They find if they can go. They keep. That's like they come here because they think they can go faster. All they're doing is blocking us out, and
Ah,
we can't get to the ones that give us form. So we have to give. Some have resorted to trying to force their form onto them.
aha.
Like, I don't know, sticking to a wall and then crushing people?
It seems confused by your by your statement, and it looks back. I have to go see. Like see another hole. See if another hole is opened up. If even a small hole gets up, I can get form,
All right.
and it
Good.
runs off.
Good luck, Rabbit. Thank you.
Godspeed, bunny man. Go be with your friend Donnie.
Yep. So yeah. If these are monsters, they're trying to get out to where you guys are, particularly where kids are.
We
So-
definitely need to stop the Men in Black then.
Okay. So you could see the patrols out there though. That they're working towards, and they can keep it from there. So, what is your plan of attack to try to get into the facility? Because
Can we?
it's still pointing towards the center, essentially the center cylinder that you see here.
How many of the black shapes are outside of the walls?
Uh, you, you were counting at least 5 to 6 total that were on a route that appeared to be on a constant patrol around the fence.
And the ones on the outside of the fence?
There are none on the outside of the fence. Essentially, there are ones that are on the border of the fence, essentially on the inside, and on the outside is where all the proto monsters are.
Yeah, how many proto monsters are there?
From where you can't count them all because it's almost a black. It's almost wall to wall black
A
on there.
lot.
Yeah. It seems that the fence.
Before the bunny leaves, I want to call back to the bunny.
Let's see. This will be a charm roll to see if you can get him to come back. So.
All right, that'll be
Frank, come back, Frank.
Nice. Okay, you get a moxie for that one, so to be using it at a say game later.
All right, so I'm going to use my relationship with the librarian because she is kind of cordial when dealing with other people who may be belligerent. I see at least 3 9s.
Nice. Okay, that is enough to bring it back. So he gets his attention. What you? That's like what? What else do you need? You have form.
We do.
You should be able to go.
We want to know if you can help us. If we bust a hole in the wall, can you help us deal with the astronaut-looking men over there?
You can give us a bigger hole.
Yes.
How can you give us a bigger hole?
How else do you make a hole in a wall?
How? I'm asking
sword,
that.
you slice it open.
I'm asking that. I'm not sure. I can dig under the wall, but I can't make it.
Break down the wall.
Okay. Show me how, and then you see it starting to try to pull you towards it. It takes a hold of the queen arm and starts pulling you towards the fence line.
All right.
All right. So you have gone to exceptions. That's a good job. So what's the plan that you're trying to communicate towards the rest of the horde?
Well, my rook kind of has this useful ability that's break down obstacles. That wall looks an awful lot like an obstacle.
Okay, that's gonna worry about it. So let's see. I think that will allow you to communicate that. So the rabbit's gonna move forward. They essentially move a space open for you, which is working from it. So you can do that. Oscar, are you doing anything?
I'm going to prepare to go in and hamstring the astronauts.
Okay, so just gotta pull them up. All right. So this will be in tandem for working out. If you're going to do that, that's going to work for it. So let's see. What are you? Go ahead. What's your dice pool for breaking down the walls or
6.
breaking? 6. Okay. I'm going to say that you have an extra additional dice there because you've been able to communicate your idea with the rest of the horde. So essentially, they will act as an additional push depending on it. It's a pretty reinforced structure, so it's going to be hard to get down. So
I take a step back, think about it, take 5 more steps back. Rush, jump, slide, hit.
Nice. So okay, I appreciate that. That's go ahead. Make your roll.
3 8s.
3 8s. Okay, that is all right. Yeah. So you've actually, and since the Men in Black knots essentially do not see this coming, the other horde starts pushing it forward. You see that the other ones are getting a little bit nervous, and then they open up a side for you. And which pieces are you dislodging to come in and take that out?
Let's go with Lancelot the Knight.
Okay. So he dislodges, he forms into a knight with a charging steed that slams the lance directly into the fence, and the entire section off of the side that you're on goes falling down. Hits the ground. And let's see, with the 8, rolling a dice each for these guys. We'll see what happens.
The government could take lessons from me.
For that. There are no matches, so they are temporarily stunned as the fence comes down. You caught them off guard.
They never saw it coming.
And you don't want to lose that moxie. You really don't.
Quiet, you. It wasn't my moxie, anyways.
Anyway, Oscar, they are now incapacitated, so they will not have an attack this turn. You have a free attack on them with yours, so go ahead and make your roll to see if you can incapacitate them completely.
Alrighty. 2 6s.
2 6s? All right. Unfortunately, that was not quick enough. That will not be. Let me see. That's not going to be as quick enough for the quality. So, you managed to get 2 of them down, but the other, it's like the other 4 are getting back up. So they're going to have a chance to. That's like block you from here. So you have right now. So we're going to go ahead and enter combat here shortly. But
Oh,
before you do that, you see that the remote is still pointing towards the center, and as you do, you see that there is another a stronger white beam of light that's shooting back up to the sky from the central cylinder.
uh,
So,
we
and it
should
catches the
probably
attention of all the blobs.
go towards the light if you don't want to fight.
All right. Yeah, and that's essentially what they are doing is starting to run. It's like run over the other ones, and you do have these different men in black that are trying to valiantly stop themselves from going. That's like from getting in, and a couple of them who appear to be, uh, let's say, yep, the one of the ones that you knocked out from the initial. He is trying. You see the rabbit that you're going to trying to essentially integrate with him,
No,
and
that's
it's
not
moved
healthy.
over
You should
that.
go to the other one.
Yeah.
Go to a kid.
All right.
Kids are much better.
All right. So now we have the other 4 that are trying to struggle through the horde, but do see you now and realize that you've screwed something up, and they have gun. They do have guns that are being pointed at you. So you get an action before they get a chance to respond to you.
Feels real bad, man, for what I'm about to do.
Okay.
So I've got the queen. The queen's gonna just take a shot at one of them.
Okay. So how is the queen doing that?
Rushing up and whacking them with a giant obsidian croquet mallet.
Okay. So off with their head. All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay, so I got 2 8s, but that move has awesome times 2, so that's 3 8s,
Okay.
and it has gnarly 3, which means that it does 5 damage, and it has wicked fast times 2, which means it goes 5 sack.
Yep. So, all right. And in this case, that is enough. Yeah, that's. I'm not even gonna bother with that. So, go with that. And then, Kamari, what was your attack?
Oh, sorry. I will use just regular Shadow Striker. This has gnarly 1, and so that will be width 3 for damage, but it's 2s.
Okay, so, all right. So at least coming up from that, mainly you were coming up as the queen on there because for the queen's rush. But yeah, you come through. You basically do a slide knockout, which actually ends up taking some of the other ones who are being trying to be infiltrated by the others. Um, that's like from that end. So it is absolutely, yeah, they are pretty much down for the count with it. Uh, with it, and as you see that there are other, it's like the others, monster blobs are starting to move in with that. They actually, and from the further end, you do see that there is an open door, or one that's now being forced into the middle cylinder if you want to enter in there. Although we do have a couple of the other monsters who essentially are still trying to integrate with the others. Are you stopping them, or are you trying to do something to convince them?
Let's convince them to not do that.
Yeah, let's strongly recommend another course of action.
Okay, so what are you trying to do to convince them?
So my bishop also has a useful ability, Pro Negotiator.
Okay, so go ahead and do that.
4 8s.
Oh, damn. Okay, so that is. Let's take a look at that from the horde. They're convinced. They realize that they do. Oh, so what is your argument? How do you tell them not to?
It's rather eloquent. So, no. Those men will reject you. They cannot be suitable hosts. The ones you want are children. Their minds are malleable and fresh. They can be molded to be better people than these swill. Arise and go into the light. Find your true purpose.
Okay. So, yeah, you managed to go ahead and do that. It That's like carves. That's like they immediately take off from there. The others are still breathing heavily, but they don't. That's like they more or less seem unconscious now than just out of that. Uh, and as you're going in, it's like so they all rush into the centrifuge, and you can hear the sounds of just. There's at least two or three human voices in there that are just screaming no. You can hear gunfire, but it doesn't seem to stop the onslaught of what's
We
going on.
we done good.
All right,
Wait, but
and yeah, not much of the war. So, you actually end up seeing the other. It's seeing the other where it's like the others men in black who are starting to regain consciousness. They are looking around and hitting what appears to be silver remotes on their own suits that are embedded into the suits, hitting recall on those, and they swiftly disappear.
Recall, huh?
well, that's great, but I think we should shut this place down or blow it up.
Okay. So are you going into the cylinder, or are you staying on the outside and just taking and deciding to take care of that way?
Oh, I'm gonna go in and see if there's a button.
Okay. So, you go in there, and well, going through there, you see that each of the it's like each of the monsters are just ravaging this machine, what appears to be a large like you've seen of footage of what nuclear reactors should look like, but this one looks so much different. It seems that any of the things that would be fuel rods are actually spitting that's like in the circumference of the cylinder itself, and all pointed down towards a receivers on what essentially is just an open air gate that is shining bright white. And each of the monsters seems to be around there trying to desperately rip up this machinery. And at the bottom of it appears to be an older man with that's like what appears to be an older man, but with his suit half off, the mask going through, and just weakly holding on to a pistol that is all now completely out of rounds.
Can I negotiate with him to help us?
You can try to see if he's willing. He's. It looks like he's hanging on death's door, but he is
Do right
there.
in this world.
All right, you talk to him. I'm gonna look for the button.
All right, so you can go. All right, so go ahead and brains notice for that to see if you're searching from it. But you go through there. You see that there is a tag on his suit that says, let's see, Dr. Halden.
Only 2 sevens.
All right. All right. For that one, yeah, you're not certain where it is at the moment. So,
Well, no, I was
for
talking
the talking to him. Okay, but he's just looking from it. All right. What are you using to try to talk to him?
the pro negotiator stuff.
Okay. Oh, the pro negotiation. All right. Ugh. Oh God. Damn it! I knew one of you would find your way in here. God. Ugh. Just. Ugh. You come in here and you ruin everything.
What
with
was
it.
this place for, sir? Tell us, make your last moments worth something.
Ugh. You look around there. He actually received a respond to the negotiator and whatnot. We were trying to. That's like we were trying to tap into what we thought you. That's like you stupid things we're using to travel on. We couldn't figure out a way to. That's like to stop you from. That's like appearing in there, so we could figure out where you came from or how you were. That's like showing up from the shadows. We could use that against you, or more importantly, use that to our advantage. So being able to show up anywhere in the world that we wanted to.
Do you not understand the disruption of balance of the world of nature if you do such a thing?
There's nothing about your freaks that are that's like this natural.
And this machine is natural?
It's just using. That's like we're just using what. That's like we can. You don't understand half the fights out there, or the kids that you're corrupting. That's like when you're going through. Can't imagine what's happened to the little bastards inside. That's like the inside of you that you've probably swallowed up now.
Part of me wants like the little kid, Sarah's head to pop out. Nope, we understand pretty well. Thanks. Back down.
You could do that, and if you want to. So you do that, and you just see this look of forlorn disgust on his face. But you're just letting more of those things. That's like, but I can't let more of those things out now.
Of
They
course
can't.
you
That's
can.
like,
You can't do anything else.
all right. This will be. I'll let you know one more negotiation tactic. So if it doesn't go through, something else is going to happen. So.
All right.
All right, and I looked for the button, but I got 2 sevens.
Okay. So yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get yeah. So yeah. Alex, go ahead and make your roll. Let's see. Oscar, you do actually run around and you see that there is a specific control panel that has not been touched. So you see that most of the monsters, the reason why they're doing damage is that they seem to be blocked off from the gateway from something. And it's like they're trying to destroy anything they can in order to open that up. But you do see on your side there's one that says just a handle that says manual release. Ejection and
yeah.
core ejection.
All right, I'm headed towards that lever.
Okay, so we'll get to that too. And Alex, what was your roll?
3 1s or 2 4s?
3 1s or 2 4s. So, all right, that is very convincing. And do you have any extra qualities on that?
Not for that one.
Okay, so he looks around and says, "No, we're not leaving it here. I'm not. That's like I may not be able to close off every door, but this one will be closed off for you." And you see him reach to the suit, press something, and the entire. Well, it's like you see red emergency lights go on everywhere else, and an alarm going off.
Really? An escape timing? You're that cliche?
Well, you can see. Well, not so much, but he just kind of grins at you and then passes out. And you can see that there is a flip counter that's going down from 30 seconds.
Fuck.
I pull it.
All right, so you pull the lever.
Yes.
All right, it goes down. You see that there is a crackle of electricity that shows around around the gateway as it shines even brighter, and all the proto monsters start fleeing towards it.
We should
So
probably jump in that now.
okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you 2 things on here. You can, yeah, for Susan, go ahead and make a brains or outthink roll on this.
Nope.
Nope.
2 9s. Thank God.
2 nines. All right, enough. You realize that yeah, you can jump through that, but if that aperture, if you remember where you did from the apertures before, these are probably leading exactly where they are located, which means that you're probably going to show up in the middle of a nuclear power plant if you survive that. Which I don't know of how how a self destruct's happening on here, but you don't know how it's going to happen on that other side.
Let's go back to the alleyway.
Let's run away. Yeah, back to the drugstore.
And I will say that because of that, you remember that you have one other button on there, and if it goes with recall, there's a good chance that probably is gonna, like, a save point in the game is gonna bring you back to the last place you were.
Quick, hit the button, and hold on to it.
Beep beep.
All right.
Mash the button.
You press
Just mashing the
mash the
button
button,
furiously.
and it feels like you're both you're dragged back, so that something has grabbed you by the body, and you are just being reeled back like on a fishing line. And it goes out with such velocity that it's it's hard to feel like you're keeping your consciousness during the time. So, last roll just to see if you can do guts plus win to see if you actually keep conscious.
All right, let's use the old guy again. Last time. Two nines.
All right.
2 6s.
All right. So it's enough. You managed to that's like see it coming the membrane aperture in front of you as it flings you through it. You both lose just a moment of consciousness, but when you wake up, uh, uh, let's see, Sarah, you're holding the entire chess set, and you are yourself again on the other side of the cattle enclosure, as is Oscar. You are. And you suddenly see the opening scabbing up in a way that doesn't really even make sense, and then just completely disappear with what appears just to be rust marks on the side of the aluminum where the membrane used to be.
What time is it? What time of the day is it?
Well, your watch is it's like your nice calculator watch is showing it should be 6 o'clock, but it should only be like 6 o'clock right now in the evening. But it looks a lot darker outside.
We are late for dinner.
We
Yep.
flee home immediately, away from the scene, and
Yes.
probably we should break that remote now.
Yeah. Let's
All right.
stab the crap out of the remote.
All
I
right,
used
so you're
I used the queen to just smash it one at
all
a
right.
time, just like
Break
we
it
did
up.
the last time. She doesn't get enough action.
Then break it up. Nice. So,
It turns
all
into
right.
dust with one hit.
Yeah. Well, you both go home. You both obviously are in big trouble. You actually had Chief Topper come out, Chief Hopper Topper come out, and your parents looking for you, and grounding is in your imminent future. But because of this, but it seems that you have actually saved or at least created a balance between a world that your friends may have come from. You only kind of assume from this. It's very hard to remember actually most of the memories being in there. But as you go for the next couple days, you realize that the horror sculpture has been removed from the pharmacy wall. It is no longer there, and the news reports reports a closure of uh, the Virtual Sea Summer nuclear station for immediate repairs. They discussed it's like they were going over an issue. They were discussing a possible problem with one of the primary reactor that supplies power to the county, but and said that there was no major issues and the public doesn't need to worry about any kind of nuclear waste reactions or concerns about issues because around this time 3 Mile Island and a lot of the others are still fresh in the mind of the public. But you notice out there. But something else that does come up, at least within the next month, is that you suddenly notice that a lot of other kids seem to be having friends like yours popping up from here and there. So, and you're not as quite alone in the community as you once were.
All is right in the
So,
world. Job is
It's a monster-rich environment.
yeah, it works out. So that ends this scenario. So, destination known. Questions, comments, suggestions?
no, it was good. I liked it. I
Hooray!
like the stuff that you do where it sort of goes back to the origin of where the monsters come from exactly, like you did in the junkyard at the edge of forever and this one.
Okay, no, I like that too. Yeah, this one was a little more quick. I will admit, unfortunately, I want to develop this one a little bit more, but this is obviously influenced by Stranger Things. So
Really?
yeah,
Really? I couldn't notice with the membranes.
yeah. So that's one thing I absolutely like about that. But you're right. I do like the idea of just kind of thinking up. And the backstory of this is that the Men in Black actually weren't originally looking for a way to break into their world. It was through the experiments of another it's like experiments from another scientist, which actually was trying to find ways of quantum entangled transportation. So to basically bring somebody from point A to point B, and found this the in between area where you could just jump from the place to place. But yeah, then found that actually this is where at least this version of the monsters are in their prototypical forms before they actually can find that bond with a child. And the other ones, yeah, as you see, it's like when the other agents were trying to escape from the aperture, you had monsters who were so desperate to try to get out that they were trying to literally force a symbiotic bond on the adults, and it was killing them. So, in order to do that, or preventing them
Oh,
from
it
emerging
kills
on the outside.
them. That's no
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So in this variant of it, that they it's like that there may be a possibility of an aberrant monster coming out at some point that is kind of forcing itself onto an adult, but their mental faculties essentially don't allow them for that bond, and it makes it more difficult for them.
It's like a
So
rejection of reality almost.
it is. So, but any other questions or things that were confusing or?
No, I liked it. It was fun. I
Okay.
haven't played monsters in a long time, so it's good to just be like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I have to be a kid again.
Oh no, I was like, I'm glad you appreciated that too. I know it wasn't as combat intensive in this one. It was kind of more of the slight social engineering, especially since you had two kids
I
instead
think
of the full quartet.
I think only one attack was needed,
With that, so
but
okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was fine.
it was the perfect balance in my opinion because there shouldn't be that much combat in the Monsters and Other Childish Things game.
Good. Like I said, yeah, sometimes looking at different ones, I try to balance that a little bit further out, but we'll see from it. But no, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So we'll stop the recording right now. But thank you guys for playing so much. And everybody else, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.